Steel City Live here on Mic Drop Sports. Truly appreciate you all for stopping through. Make sure you're beating the shit out of that like button for us here on the show as we dive into a Saturday edition here. And we're going to give some score predictions. We're going to talk more about this football game as the Pittsburgh Steelers approach their Week 7 matchup against the New York Jets. And we'll get some score predictions from you guys, and I'll give you my keys to victory also. We'll go over the injury report. I do want to do that. Let me turn the light on here because I feel like it's a little dusky. But we will do all that, as I had mentioned, and we'll dive in, man, and take all your chat questions. If I missed them last night, we'll try to get to them tonight if you put them back in. What's up, Sean, Miss Pittsburgh, Rich Kuzma? What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys in the chat early in the show. Thank you very, very much. As we dive in here, man, we'll get started with some of the injury reports. Roman Wilson back down to a questionable, but they did promote Brandon Johnson to the active roster, so that doesn't really bode well for Roman Wilson. That's probably pretty much telling you that he will not be a part of this ball game here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Also, the Steelers downgrade safety DeMonte Casey. He was limited and probable. Now he is back to questionable for the Jets game. And upgraded defensive tackle Montravius Adams with that knee injury to no injury status designation. So you will probably get to see Mon Adams put back into the rotation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those are all good signs for the Steelers, except for the wide receiver stuff. But guys, I like Johnson. I thought every time that he's come in, he's been able to play pretty well, man. And I'm not, pissed about him being out there at all. Let me get back to the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. What's up, Danny George, TD in the chat? Make sure you guys are sharing too. I appreciate that. This won't be no crazy time crunch here on a Saturday show. Again, tomorrow is a primetime show for the pregame, so we'll be a little bit later. I have a game that's about an hour and a half away from my house, so by the time I get home, we'll probably be looking at about a 6 o'clock pregame show, probably, I would say. I'd venture to say that sounds about right. 6 p.m., 6:30, something like that. We will get going with the live Pittsburgh Steelers pregame show here on Mic Drop Sports, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some guests and stuff like that, hopefully that'll start to work its way out here since I updated my my YouTube thing, so we'll see if that will work. We'll try that, Sean, here soon. What's up, John Broadway? But also, depending on the time the game ends, will be a big indicator on whether we will have a post-game show. It's hard in our house. We got work and we got kids that got to get up for school and all that kind of stuff, so being up till 1, 2 in the morning sometimes isn't the brightest idea for me to do that kind of show, but we usually will just dive in hard on the next day. Let's get back to the chat. John Broadway, hey, ho, downtown is here, and don't ask Tomlin if he'd be interested in a college coaching job. Quote, it's a joke to Tomlin. He's actually ticked off. Yeah, I remember that about USC. He might bode a little bit better there with his ultra-conservative game plans and actually have maybe some sense there more than what he has here. But again, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button as we're just getting started here. We're about 4 minutes in, a little over, almost 5. So we're just going to chill and slow roll. Make sure you guys are putting all your stuff into the chat. We will do that. Again, I'm going to give you my Steelers keys to victory. Also, we will get some of your score predictions. I'll give you my score prediction and what I think the outcome of this football game will be here this Sunday. Daniel Warman in the chat. He says, my prediction, 27-13. That's from Daniel. I always write these down, guys, so you got to bear with me. Daniel W., 27-13. It sucks. We have to wait till 8. Yeah, I honestly don't like primetime games, you know? I just don't. I think they start a little too late. I think they should start at 7. I think that would be perfect. The game would end roughly around 9:30, depending on the pace of the game. You know, it's just way better for everybody involved, in my opinion. You got kids that really are into this. My 9-year-old likes to watch it now, and he didn't before. Now he's starting to get into it and really like to watch it, and it's like he can't be up till 11:30 at night watching a football game. It's just not going to happen. So, not on a school night. You know, if they didn't have school the next day, of course, I don't care when they go to bed. It doesn't matter to me then. But yeah, not on a school night, man. You got to be in bed, man. So I feel bad for the kids that don't get to watch the game when it's prime time. And the Pittsburgh Steelers typically play a good amount of primetime games each year. This is 2 out of 3 weeks for the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. So here we go. At least it's not on a Thursday or Monday. I hate Monday night games and I hate Thursday night games with a passion, unless it's a holiday, you know, to where again, there's no work, kids, school shit. Yeah, I don't mind it then, but you know, it's crazy. TD, how about Pickens spilling the beans yesterday? Yeah, Pickens is just vocal, man, and I think he's just got to tone it out. Or tone it down a little bit in terms of just not giving the media what they want, just not even playing into the bullshit, just allowing things to just blow over a little bit in terms of his camp, man. He's just not on the right path right now, in my opinion. I think he's just got to start reeling it in a little bit, getting focused on what is most important, and that is him succeeding on the football field. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all he should be caring about. There shouldn't be no, hey, I want to tell them this, or I want to go out there and say this. I want to, do this or that. I want to act a fool on the field or off the field. He doesn't get in trouble or anything, so that's a good thing. He doesn't do any of that shit, but he just needs to reel that maturity level in a little bit to where he becomes that number one target. I just feel that that's just where George has to go from here, man. If he wants to make the big bucks in this league, that's what he's got to do. Primetime games are 2 p.m. for me. Sean, you live on a different planet for Steelers football than the rest of us. No doubt about that. John Broadway, 27-23. Steelers. All right, that's from downtown. Downtown John Broadway. Miss Pittsburgh says 17-10. That's from Miss P. I'm just going to start calling her Miss P. Miss P says, 17-10. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It could possibly be. Definitely. My prediction, and I'll give it to you now, and I'll write it down here. That way we know. I mean, it is taped, of course, but for me, Sean can even send me his. My prediction in this ball game is this. The Steelers are going to score 25-plus points, in my opinion, because I think they're going to have to. And I know the Steelers have a decent defense, but I think that this is going to be the first shootout this year. I think, or hopefully, the first shootout in a long time for the Steelers. But I think Russell Wilson's going to be able to manufacture some points for the Steelers in the pass game and loosen up the run game a little bit. I do have high hopes for that. So hopefully that's what happens. That's what I'm hoping here. But I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers definitely get up there toward the 30-point range. I'm looking for 32 points from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm looking for roughly 27. That's where I'll go. Give me a little bit on the betting lines and things of that nature. So I'll do 32-27 in terms of score. 32-27 for me. Again, I think this will be a little bit of a shootout. I'm not talking monster shootout where teams are scoring 40. I'm talking 32-27. It's going to be a battle back and forth throughout the night. I think you're going to see the momentum shift a couple times. I think it's going to come down to which quarterback makes the big play. I think it's going to come down to which quarterback can maintain his composure and not let the opposing defense get to them and get them off a rhythm. I think that that's really what it's going to come down to. And I look for late in the game the Pittsburgh Steelers to get that go-ahead score to get them up, 4 or 5 points or whatever, and really be able to really bring it home this time in prime time and not allow a repeat to where they go down, get the lead, and allow the Dallas Cowboys to go down and strike. I don't think the defense allows that to happen twice in prime time, and that's how I think the Steelers win. I think, again, it's a back and forth ball game. I think Russell Wilson throws for a couple touchdown passes to guys like Calvin Austin, guys maybe even perhaps a Brandon Johnson. Cordell Patterson's out again. Forgot to mention that. And then I expect the run game and Chris Boswell to supply the rest. But I do predict to see a couple touchdown passes, maybe even perhaps a touchdown pass to a tight end. And I'm not predicting which one or who, but it could be to any of them. I look for the Steelers offense to try to open itself up this week, and I say that a lot. But I truly, truly hope that that's the case, guys, because honestly, this shit has been killing me, man, this ultra-conservative way of playing. It's just like, when? When do you open it up, You haven't opened it up since last year when Mason came in and threw, a couple tutties to GP. All right, let's get back. We did miss Pittsburgh. TD in the house with 21-17. Everybody's getting up there in that 20 range. 21-17 for TD. Steelers. Sean says 28-21 Steelers. That's from Sean. Raven Bell, who's the best NFL player of all time? I mean, there's so many, man. Which position would be a better question, Raven Bell? It's too hard to just say this is the best player ever, because I feel like that's positionally or something that you have to gauge off position, and every position's going to have its all-time great. Mark Malone, 38-35 Steelers. I like that one, Mark. I feel like it's going to be about that too, man. I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a higher scoring game. That's from Mark Malone. Mark M. Daniel Warman, Raven as a Bengals fan. It's TJ Watt, no doubt. John Broadway, I still think that Tomlin had this planned. Mark Malone, I just can't stand watching them run into stacked boxes over and over again. Yeah, and Mark and John, to answer what your chat questions are here, or not questions, comments, this probably was planned, but Russell Wilson's injury created that plan. I don't think it was the plan to initially start with, but I think Mike Tomlin saw the opportunity to see what Justin Fields could do in an extended period of time, allowing Russell Wilson to properly heal from that calf injury and not rushing him and forcing him back to action. And that is one luxury about having Justin Fields. So I think that plan changed once Russell's injury hit, and I think Mike did see this bye week as a golden opportunity that would be coming up to where he could get to see both quarterbacks and have that bye at the most opportune time in the season, in my opinion, to where you can get your team pretty healthy and you can be able to name a true starter coming out of that bye week. I think that, and I hope that he's smart enough for that plan, because that plan does make sense to me. And if you want a good look at both of them, so be it then. That's fine. I still don't agree with benching a 4-2 quarterback. I think it's not wise, but if you were hell-bent on seeing both of these guys in live action this year in 2024 in the regular season before you named a starter, then this would be the most opportune time to do so. This gives you a chance to have a 2-game audition for Russell Wilson to be able to show you what he is going to be able to do. And if it's bad and horrible, then you know. Then you know if you're Mike Tomlin. Then you go back to Justin and tell him, look, dude, we had to see it. We're not apologizing for it, but we had to see it. You're both here on 1-year deals. You're not here past this season. We had to see both products, both players on the field, and we had to see exactly the path that we were going to choose, and we weren't comfortable making that choice without seeing you both play. That is the only logical solution to what's going on right now. If you approach it with that mentality, if you're Mike Tomlin right now and you're taking it that way, I think it works, and I think that it's okay then. Let's keep going. Back to the chat. Steel 74. What are the possibilities that the Steelers run a two quarterback offense in this game? Steel 74, I say slim to none. Again, gimmicks don't work, guys, in the NFL, man. And I'll repeat that over and over, and I'll die on that hill. A gimmick is okay to do here and there, very occasionally, a surprise play. But bringing both Justin and Russell out there onto the field, it's just not going to work. And if you're the Steelers, I think that's a move backwards. I think that's admitting that you can't run your regular offense in a way that you should at an NFL level, and that you don't really have high faith in either one of those quarterbacks. And especially right now, with it just being the return of Russell Wilson this week, I don't think that you risk doing that. I think that it would be a catastrophic failure in terms of confidence and what you're showing this team. And I think it just doesn't work, period, just because gimmicks don't work. Let me get a drink here, guys. Make sure you're hitting the shit out of that like button. Also sharing, subscribing if you aren't already part of the Mic Drop Mafia here, where we have these daily live shows and we have great group chats here in the live chat every day that we try to answer everybody's question. And it's definitely really, really cool. Just cooked some ribs out on the grill, and right as they were about ready to be done, probably 20, 30 minutes, I was building that bark, getting everything real tender on them. You know how you do with ribs. And boom, I go down and the gas is out. And I have 4 propane tanks. And all 4 of them are now empty. I've used them all. We grilled a lot this summer. But this house that I just bought, we have a actual natural gas hookup. And my dumbass has procrastinated so many times to just go and get the fitting that I need in order to hook up my gas grill to the outdoor hookup that's in the outdoor living space. And I keep procrastinating. I have the hoses and everything. I literally just need the metal adapters, you know what I mean? The screw adapters that I just need to put on and then cap it off and then put them on whenever I want to use it, or put the hose when I want to use it. And that, I'm so dumb. I'm doing that this week. I will have that complete. Tomorrow is Steelers football. Tomorrow is Cheat Lake Chargers football. My youth team has a very important game. It doesn't mean much in terms of their playoff standings. It is our last regular season game for our youth team. It doesn't mean anything truly in their playoff standings. They'll be the 2 seed. They only have 1 loss currently, and the only other team in our conference that is even close is the team that beat us, and they are undefeated. So yeah, it's an important game though for momentum, and that's why these games for the Steelers, you look at these games leading up to the bye week, when you get these breaks and you get these breaks in the season to where you're heading into more important plateaus of the season, they're ever so important to get that W before, get those couple wins before. And I felt like last week with our youth team, these last several weeks, we've really laid the hammer down, started scoring a lot of points, and I think getting that momentum and bringing that into the playoffs is something that you definitely want to have, and that's why I compare it to the Steelers here. These next 2 games with the Jets and the Giants, you want to build that offense, and you want to start getting those points built up a little bit in terms of your offensive production, and really take that into the bye week, knowing that you're going to have a chance to get healthy along the offensive front with Zach Frazier, getting guys like Cameron Sutton off of suspension, getting healthy maybe perhaps in other areas of your football team, allowing your running backs to get healthy, maybe allowing guys like Roman Wilson to get healthy, perhaps making a trade here to where November 5th, 6th, something like that, before the deadline, you make that move. Could it be a guy like Mike Williams from the Jets? Many people around the NFL are really truly predicting that the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers are the most wide receiver needy teams right now that are competitive, and that they will be the biggest players here in the next, week and a half, 2 weeks for a wide receiver in the trade market. And I think the Steelers have their eyes set on a couple. I think there is a couple wild cards out there. Perhaps maybe a guy like a DK Metcalf. I know it. But I think DeAndre Hopkins is a wild card. But let's talk about that one real quick while I brought it up. And then I'm going to get back to the chat here. We'll leave off. We'll get back with Daniel's comment. DeAndre Hopkins, guys, has only started 2 games this entire year for the Tennessee Titans due to injury. And he's had some long-term injuries that have continued to nag him. He's 32 years old, makes a decent salary. You could probably get him for pretty much nothing, but probably a 5th or 6th round pick. But if you're the Steelers, do you want to bring in a guy that's been injury-riddled here in the last couple seasons? Is that the path you want to take to improve your wide receiver room in your football team here, headed toward the back half, headed toward a potential playoff run? I don't think that that's wise. I'd be more leaning toward a Mike Williams. I know he's had his injury woes too, but right now he's been playing. So maybe that would be the best situation. There's a couple others out there. Again, I'd be more inclined to go after a big name. If I'm the Steelers and I'm truly into what we have as a football team, if you're Mike Tomlin and this coaching staff, front office staff, and you really truly believe in this roster, if this defense can start to get healthy again, are you dangerous enough to be able to go out there and make a move of significance here before the deadline? Because all the tea leaves have been shown to you. You know what you're going to be. You know what you can do. You know the personnel that you have currently. You know what your record is. It's not like you're just taking a gamble and saying, we're going to go get this guy. We don't know if we're going to be a winning football team just yet, but, we're going to pay big bucks and major draft capital for this guy before the season. No, you know that you're competitive right now. You sit 4-2. The Steelers go in here with Russell Wilson and win this game, become 5-2. You know you are competitive and that you can get it done. So why not go out there and take a monster swing at somebody? I don't see the problem in that. I think it would be a quality thing to do now that we are at this juncture of the season. All right, guys, we're 22 and a half minutes in. Make sure you are hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live, here on our daily live stream. I'm your host, Jason. Make sure you're also sharing and subscribing if you're not already, to become part of the best community on YouTube for Steelers content. Let's get back to the chat as we always do. Where we at? Daniel Warman, if Russell struggles, do you think Tomlin will put Justin in? I think the answer is no, not for this game. I think Russell Wilson gets the full go this game, no matter what. Now, I think if you are in halftime of the Jets game or the Giants game, and Russell continues to struggle through 6 quarters, I think then you see the change back to Justin Fields, and Justin Fields being named the potential starter for the remainder of the season. I think if that's the scenario, that's how that unfolds. I just don't see a world in which right now that Russell Wilson could get sat down here against the Jets. I just don't see it. I think Mike Tomlin really, truly wanted to start Russell Wilson, that he believes Russell still has a lot in the tank and could potentially be the Steelers' long-term answer here for a couple years. And again, guys, when I say long-term in the NFL isn't 10 or 12 years anymore. Long-term in the NFL is 1 or 2, 3 years. That's long-term. And Russell Wilson, with his current age, if he played to 39 or 40 and can play at a high level, then you go with it. And that gives you 4 years of Russell Wilson. Yeah, you're going to pay for it, but they want to see, and Mike Tomlin wants to see what he can do. And Mike Tomlin hasn't had a guy that he knows is a Super Bowl winner since Ben Roethlisberger. So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll continue to watch that situation though. TD, will Roman Wilson play this game, or is he still on the Austin game year path? He is not going to play. Again, TD, when they promoted Brandon Johnson to the active roster, when he got uplifted, that definitely wasn't a good sign for Roman Wilson, who is listed as questionable right now with a hamstring issue. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough to see a high value draft pick not be able to see the field but a couple snaps so far this season, and it's very discouraging. We saw, though, Calvin Austin get an injury, and we were excited to see him in his rookie year, but that didn't happen. All right, let's keep moving. John Broadway question. You think that Washington going to make a catch? I think Darnell Washington definitely gets involved. I think Russell Wilson uses him as a safety valve. Him and Pat Freiermuth both, considering this is his first game back, and tight ends are a quarterback's best friend, man. That short passing game can be a quarterback's key to getting in rhythm, can be their key to being successful, to getting them on that path to being successful. So, yeah, I definitely see all of the tight ends, including Darnell Washington, included this week. And hopefully they are a major component of the game plan for Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson in this ultra-conservative offense so far this season. TD, I have a Traeger smoker and it's the best. I always wanted one of those, TD. I always wanted one of those. They sound really good. Okay, thank you, Julian. Appreciate that. Y2 Kelly 66, is DK Metcalf an option? Some say no. Some say no, Kelly. But I know he's an option. I guarantee he's an option. I don't know why some say that it wouldn't happen. I know the Seahawks have been okay, but they've struggled here as of late. And DK ain't got many more times around the league here with his years. He doesn't got a ton left. And we'll see exactly, though, how anxious he is to potentially compete for a Super Bowl. And I think the Steelers would be maybe his best option to do so. Money-wise, I think the Steelers could swing it. Draft capital-wise, I think they could swing it too. And if you are this confident or that confident in this team, I don't see why it couldn't be. And I've heard rumors around Pittsburgh before that DK Metcalf could have been a possibility. So we'll see. I've heard others talk about it. I'm sure you have too. But definitely I think it is a real option. But we'll see exactly how this all goes. We'll have to see exactly how much the Steelers are looking to spend, Yes, thank you. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh. Welcome to the best show in town. Always let's go. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh, waving that terrible towel early here on a Saturday, getting pumped up for Miss P. Get those terrible towels swinging for your girl. TD, does Russ get the next two games no matter what happens? I think so. I think that this is Russell's audition, TD. No matter what, slam dunk. This is Russell's show here for the next 2 weeks, without a doubt. And then I think the Steelers go back in, depending on his play. If Russell Wilson plays really well in these next two games, guys, he is the starter. He will be named the starter probably. If he goes into this Jets game and lights the Jets up and scores a bunch of points, come Tuesday, he'll be named the starter for the remainder of the season. And then barring injury or barring a super poor performance, I think you then maybe see Justin after that. But barring those two things, Justin Fields will now be on the bench, saving the Pittsburgh Steelers that 51% of playing time, and they will only have to spend a 6th-round pick. And bet your ass that 6th-round pick could, or that 4th-round pick, if Justin plays 51%, could come into play if you are drafting for a wide receiver, especially one that's a middle of the road wideout, to where a 4th-round pick would be required, and you would have to do some real navigating of your draft board and your draft capital to make that 4th-round pick or make a trade happen if Justin reaches that 51%. So. Yeah, depending on what the Steelers do in a trade, they may need to save that 4th-round pick and give it to someone else and allow the Bears to have that 6th. So, yeah. Sorry, guys, I was getting a drink. John Broadway, good night, my friend. Dominic, which two teams do you think is going to be the winner to go to the Super Bowl in 2025? As of right now, I couldn't give you that answer. I think the AFC has some several good teams that could be contenders. My dream pick is the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, I don't know if that's going to be factual. I don't know if that could happen, but hopefully. But right now, I think there's several in the AFC that could potentially be there. I think the Bills could be there. I think the Ravens could be there. I think the Chiefs could be there, no doubt about it. I definitely could see the Steelers even being a contender. But NFC wise, I could see the Lions making it to the Super Bowl this year. I think they are the real deal. I think Dan Campbell up there, Motor City Dan Campbell, I definitely think can get that ball club over the hump here in 2025. And you finally get to see the Detroit Lions play in a Super Bowl here. That's my pick for the NFC. Dominic, I think the Rams and Steelers are going to win. Oh, I don't think the Rams got a chance, my friend. Sam Mason, why the quarterback change? Could easily be 5-1 or 6-0 against the Jets D. What the F? Again, Sam, I really wholeheartedly believe that this change is only because Mike Tomlin was so hell-bent on Russell being the starter from the start of the season. And I just don't think that he was going to allow this season to unfold without giving Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both the opportunity to show what they could do, considering they are both on one-year deals. And we're going to dive into something. I need another drink here. Hold on. I got something to bring up here. What's up, Kingston? Good to see you. You hear me and others talk too, and I've been thinking about this lately. You hear a lot of us talk about the Steelers and their ultra-conservative offense and why don't they open it up and why hasn't it been opened up yet? Is it a Tomlin problem? Is it an Arthur Smith problem? Is it a Justin Fields problem? Or is it a combination of all of those guys? And it's making me wonder, especially with this quarterback change, and it's making me wonder because I'm really anxious and curious to see what happens with Russell Wilson. If they open the offense up with Russell Wilson, you'll know the answer, and the answer will be very clear. And that was Justin Fields wasn't seeing the field properly enough for them to open it up and wasn't ready. That will be the clear-cut answer if that's the case. So if Sunday night, tomorrow night, you see the Steelers come out and really unleash hell and really light things up offensively in terms of not being conservative, really letting Russell Wilson cook, I think you'll know your answer there. That's just what I've been thinking about. I'm not sure what you guys think. What's up, Tom Ford? Daniel Warman. Does the Pittsburgh Steelers area play the AFC North games on TV? They do in Cincinnati. I wish I had cable. Thank you. Bless you all. Yeah, we always get AFC North games. You usually get a Ravens game. You usually get a Bengals game, something like that. Browns. When the Steelers aren't playing, but yeah, no games are ever blacked out here or anything because the Steelers are sold out all the time, and that's what dictates a blackout or not. TD, with Russ coming in, does that make Pickens really happy, or are we going to get the same drama from him? I think it increases him in terms of his happiness level, which is kind of bullshit because that shouldn't really dictate your performance, because honestly, you should come out and give 110% and be pumped up to be part of your team each and every play, no matter what is going on around you, highs and lows. But again, I think this boosts things for George. Let's go. Robert Rowe, what's up, man? Steelers over the Vikings in Super Bowl would be awesome. 50 years after the Steelers winning the first Super Bowl and beating the Vikings again, we can dream. Yeah, I could see the Vikings making the Super Bowl too. They're very good. Definitely, that's a good one right there, Robert. And that could be a potential, man. That'd be awesome. History has a tendency to repeat itself, my friends. And that could definitely happen. Definitely. Brexit to the exit. Hoping my Guardians pull off a 3-1 comeback against the Yanks. Yeah, I don't watch baseball, buddy. I didn't even know the Guardians or the Yankees were even in the playoffs, my friend. I have not watched baseball since the Pittsburgh Pirates totally destroyed me yet again for the last time, and I have been out. I was putting a lot of money into it, going to a lot of games, and buying playoff tickets and shit, and doing it up, and then just to give up and not be able to rebuild for many years again. There, we're back. I don't know what happened, guys. We blacked out there for a minute. Not sure what happened. But we are back. Hopefully, we are back. If I'm froze or something, let me know, guys. I'll restart it. But I think we're good. Who knows what happened. But again, guys, we're about 35 minutes into the show here on a special Saturday edition here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason, and this is only on Mic Drop Sports. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the best community in all of YouTube for Steelers content, and that is here at Mic Drop Sports and the show Steel City Live. Again, make sure you're hitting that like button. We need to get those likes popping, man. There should be 3 little white dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen for some of you. You can hit that. A drop-down box will come up, and you can hit like, or you can double tap your screen, and that should like the show also to help put us out there into the YouTube algorithm. And I know there's 15 of you that are regulars, so make sure we start pumping those like buttons up. We're only at 15 now, so let's get those likes up here as we continue through the show. Double tap the screen, the live. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that, Donna BD1. Very much so. Thank you. Tom Ford. Unfortunately, the Steelers will not make it that far once the Steelers have a new coach. Maybe. Yeah. I hope that's not true, but it's been the case. Great Snail. What's up? Wave those towels for Miss Pittsburgh. Appreciate it. TD. That would be a great matchup between the Steelers and Vikings. Absolutely. Robert Road. The stat that jumps out the most important to me is Fields ranked 33rd in play action this year. Last year, Wilson ranked 7th in the NFL in play action. Yeah, that statistic can mean something too to the Arthur Smith offense, which seems more tailored toward that action game, that zone run scheme game, the ability to hopefully push the ball down the field to create splash plays. And one good thing is, hopefully, this offense is more tailored to Russell Wilson's style of play as opposed to Justin Fields. My only fear is Russell not being mobile enough currently to play behind this current offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers that hasn't been very good throughout this year. All right, guys, being the only one talking lately, man, without being able to have a guest on has really sucked because Jason is, talking for an hour is no easy feat, my friends. Tom says, can you imagine Sam Darnold leading a team to the Super Bowl? That would be amazing. His stock would go through the roof. Yeah, man, good for him. He needed out of New York, that's for sure, and he's just found a place finally that let him play a little bit. That's not a bad football team. Any team with Justin Jefferson seems to be a good offense. Mikael Brooks, what's up, man? I think the relationship between Wilson and Thomas Tall is why he's starting in a move unlike the Steelers or Tomlin. I hear what you're saying, the Acrisure group. Definitely, Mikael. And that is a really good point to bring up that a lot of people don't talk about. And that is Russell Wilson's ties to the Acrisure group who sponsors the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium. No longer Heinz Field, now Acrisure Stadium. And Russell Wilson is part of a group of investors in that company, in that group. And also Thomas Tall, definitely with his relationship with the Steelers. Isn't he a partial owner also? Minority stake owner? Correct me if I'm wrong, Mikael. But definitely, yeah. I think all those variables come into play, man, and that could possibly be. Now, do I know definitively if that's the case? No, I don't think any of us will ever know, but it's definitely not far-fetched. It's definitely not, and that is a very, very good point, man. TD, hope we get more tight end catches with Russ at the helm. A lot of people will say you won't, but I think he will. I think you will this week. I think that Russell spreads it around a good bit. But what a lot of people say that Russell has an issue thrown over the middle, and that's why he is most effective out on the move, rolling out to his right or left because he can't see over the line of scrimmage well enough in order to be effective. Yeah, I don't know how you make it as long as you have as Russell Wilson has being an NFL quarterback and winning a Super Bowl, playing in a couple of them. If you can't throw across the middle of the field, if you can't do those things from the pocket, I just don't see that being a big thing. And I think he'll make do and really hit the shit out of the tight ends this week. Let's keep going, man. Bang, bang. Niner gang. Bang, bang. Armin, what is your opinion about Davante Adams and the New York Jets? I think it was a solid move for the Jets. Wish it was the Steelers. But you're going to play with a familiar face in Aaron Rodgers. And that's always clutch, too. Chemistry. Being able to just fit right into a new system. Sadly for Davante Adams, he didn't really go to a team with much better of a record. They're 2-4. Another losing team. How many more years does Aaron Rodgers have? Davante Adams, how many years is he going to be with the Jets? If Aaron Rodgers wasn't there. But yeah, I think it was a solid move, and the Jets are trying to win now. And when you've dug yourself a 4-game hole already. As a, sorry guys, my garage door just opened. So my wife was supposed to be at work until 9, so she must be home early. Because this room sits right above the garage. So, it was like shocked me, and I was like, oh shit. But yeah, the Jets are trying to win now. And definitely, the addition of Davante Adams is a major key to being able to do that. But we have to face the facts also, guys, with the statistics of teams that are 2-4. It's almost next to near impossible for them to make the playoffs. The percentages really play against them in that situation. So, we'll just have to watch it play out. But definitely, it's a good move for the Jets. Will we be more pass happy or run heavy this game with Russ? I would like to hope, TD, that we're balanced. I don't think that you need to be heavy either way. And one thing that I hope Russell Wilson does do is his ability to hopefully push the ball down the field in terms of hitting his receivers on a more consistent basis, especially guys that are wide open, loosens up that run game, loosens up the box for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be able to execute that zone run scheme of Arthur Smith. I think that is of utmost importance. And definitely, I hope that what it does is create balance. I think we'll be run heavy or pass heavy? Of course, it's a Steelers team, so I would have to say run heavy just because it's what the Steelers do. But yeah, that's where I would lean. If I have to pick one. But again, I hope it remains balanced. AQ Doug, what's up? Is that Ricky? Yeah, man. Bang bang. Poor Ricky Pearsall getting shot up, man. San Francisco, guys, up in that woke ass place, man. That's type of shit that happens, bro. Don't know what to tell you. And I don't ever talk politics or anything, but yeah, that place is super woke. It's super crazy. I don't know how anybody lives there. Just saying. And look at the shit that happens. Your NFL players are getting banged up, bro, for no reason. Robert Road, Russ likes to throw to the tight end. Plenty of that is on the outside, but he throws very well when he is on the move. Yeah, guys, definitely, he definitely does. Over the years, that's where his bread's been buttered, man. Getting out on the move, getting out on the roll, and being able to see downfield, keep plays open that way. And one thing that does for Russell Wilson is allows your wide receivers to have a little bit more time to operate. Perhaps, make an extra move to get behind a defender when Russell Wilson is able to roll out, creating a little bit more time, So maybe that plays into his advantage. for Russell and the wide receivers. But I could see a lot of Pat Fryermuth, Calvin Austin, Darnell Washington. I could see a lot of drag routes, Connor Hayward. I could see a lot of that happening with Russ out on the move, dumping it down to those guys. I could see a lot of passes out of the backfield to running backs, Najee, Jalen, what have you, just dumping it down real easy on some rollouts, little quick dumps. I can see a lot of that happening. I could also see a lot of the action game happening once that starts to go. Where you start to get the defense to bite a little bit on those little dump check downs, on those little quick screens, maybe perhaps. Then maybe that run game loosens up a little bit. Then maybe you could hit that deep ball. I'm just hoping Russ really adds that layer that loosens things up to where you're not playing against, 8 in the box all the time, like the Steelers usually do. Armand, what is your prediction for the 49ers-Chiefs match? Chiefs beat the 49ers, in my opinion. Tom, did you happen to look into what I was saying the other day about TJ getting replaced with Jeremiah Mooney? Yeah, Tom, I forgot all about it to message you back, actually. But, yeah, I don't think that happens. I think TJ writes his ticket here for as long as TJ wants it in the city of Pittsburgh. If they do bring anybody else in through the draft, through free agency, anything, they are a Robin to the Batman for TJ Watt. I don't see TJ being replaced by anybody at all. He's earned that right, really. He's the best defender on the planet. And I just don't see the Steelers moving on from that until TJ says he's done. TJ is a Steeler for life, and they'll pay him whatever amount of money that is in order to keep TJ Watt a Pittsburgh Steeler forever. TJ Watt is a one-helmet guy, a one-hat guy in the NFL, guys. He will not play anywhere else. I can say that for sure. His brother was a legendary player. He should have been a Texan forever. But not many franchises are as loyal as the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of how they do business with players and coaches. And definitely TJ Watt, he'll be able to write his ticket. I just don't see that happening, Tom. Sorry I didn't message you back, though, but I did think about it. Greg Knepp, let's hope that they use both quarterbacks. When the Jets see Fields come in under center, they know the quarterback run is coming. I can't see no gimmicks happening, man. Again, I've said this many times, and many of you out there have brought this up, that the Steelers use two quarterbacks. I would wipe it from your mind because it's just not going to happen, guys. I don't see it happening. And if it does, I'll admit my wrong here, but I just definitely don't see that happening. AQ, I was pissed off about the quarterback change at first, but I'm curious to see what he can do now. I think he's going to get crushed behind the line, but I'd love to be surprised. Doug, I'm absolutely 1,000% on board with your line of thinking there. The same way, Doug, that I was moving with this whole thing. I just feel like the legs of Justin Fields are better equipped for what the Steelers have up front right now, and that is a weak offensive line that hasn't played very well, and their rookie phenom in Zach Frazier being out and injured. Ryan McCollum in relief. I just don't see the Steelers' offensive line as a strong enough unit right now to take away the variable of Justin Fields' legs. That's my opinion. But again, I'm like you. I'm thinking along that same lines. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm praying that I'm wrong. But definitely we'll see exactly what happens here real quick and in a hurry. Tomorrow night about this time, we will really truly be knowing exactly what Russell Wilson is all about here in 2024, guys. All right, guys, we're about 49 minutes into the show. Make sure you're hitting the shit out of that like button for us here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. As always, if you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed and share the shit out of the show, guys. That is truly something very important here for us to send us out into that YouTube algorithm. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be live here with a Steelers pregame show. We're going to dive a little bit into keys to victory here in a minute. But don't forget to join us for that, and we'll see about a post-game show depending on how late it gets. TD, is Warren going to play? I heard he is still questionable. He'll be in action. TD, Miss Pittsburgh waving that terrible towel. TD with the emojis. Love it, man. We're going to change some emojis up too here soon. Give you guys some new ones now that we're back to this vertical presentation. Robert Rowe, look for some screen passes with Russ in there. He throws nice touch passes. Screen, slow down the pass rush as well. Screen, slow down pass rush as well. Yes, absolutely they do. But here's the thing that I don't want Russell Wilson to do, and I think this is a key to victory. I don't want him to become check down happy. We've seen that in Pittsburgh before. The Kenny Pickett bullshit. Check down, check down, check down. You can't live in that world all the time. Check down is only, used when you have to use it. It's not something that you need to be using every damn pass play. I want to see some of it in there, and I want to see it be a wrinkle, a variable for the offense to be able to, like you said, slow the pass rush down, perhaps loosen the box up for the Steelers a little bit in terms of their run game. All those things, all those things come into play and create what we want to see on offense. So I just really hope that he doesn't become check down happy, and that is one of my keys to victory, actually. Check down happy bullshit, because sometimes he gets in that. At least he's been known to with the Denver Broncos here in the last couple years. Warren doesn't have an injury tag right now. No, he doesn't. He'll be there. He'll be ready to roll. Greg Knepp, this definitely seems like another trap game for Pittsburgh, and you would have to think Aaron Rodgers will try to get Davante Adams involved in this game early, probably 20 targets. Oh, that's a lot of targets, man, for a guy that just joined the team, but yeah, you never know. That's a lot of targets, Greg. I don't ever consider any game a trap game. I think they're all games at the professional level that, you're a professional football team. There shouldn't be any traps, This is the pro level, and you got to get it done each and every week and come out there and put your best foot forward. But I do think that they try to get Davante involved, no doubt about it. Again, Davante doesn't have a real learning curve here. He's already played with the coordinator and the quarterback, so the terminology is going to be the same. The play schemes are going to be familiar to him. It's not going to take him long to get rolling. Chemistry-wise, they practice together and work out together in the offseason in terms of Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. A lot. So definitely I think they will be hooking up, no doubt about it. But I think this is a high-scoring game, guys. Again, I think that's from both sides of the coin here. I think the Steelers put up some points, and I think the Jets put up some points. So we'll see what happens. But Davante will be encouraged and really leaned upon to try to get involved early for the Jets. And that's a key for them to win, no doubt about it. Tom, man of steel. The Steelers need to trade the Texans for running back Damian Pierce. They don't utilize him anyway. They could. I just don't think they're going to, because they have 3 running backs. One of them is just injured. Jalen's just getting back. I just don't see the Steelers making a trade and wasting any type of capital for a running back that they really don't need currently with the way their roster is, with whom they have already. I mean, that would be a luxury pick, more than anything. Greg Knepp, he used to throw to him 15 to 20 times a game in Green Bay. Yeah, man, it may very well be, Greg. I'm not arguing it, buddy. I just didn't know. My thought process was, with it being his first game, I'm not sure that his targets reach 20. You know what I mean? But perhaps, maybe, depending on how hot they get, how quick they get, connected, Daniel Warman, Rodgers, for an old quarterback, has a great arm, but I believe I can outrun him. He is going to throw a lot of short passes. They try to go deep. The Steelers' defense will shut him down. I think this game here, Daniel, when you said the Steelers' defense could shut him down if they try to go deep, Guys, I really think that this could be a Minka Fitzpatrick game because I think that they are going to try to stretch the Steelers defense out. And like we talked about a little farther up in the chat there with Robert, screen slow down the pass, the pass rush. I think that's what the Jets will do a little bit to slow TJ Watt down and perhaps Alex Highsmith. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I think this could be a Minka Fitzpatrick game, man. I think he can make a play. I really do. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. All right, guys, we'll go for a couple more minutes here, man, since this is a special Saturday show. And my wife's home now, so I think I'm going to go get in a hot tub or something and chill and hang out, enjoy the rest of Saturday because tomorrow morning we got an hour and a half drive ahead of us, bright and early. So let me finish up the chat. I'll give you my keys to victory and we'll get out of here. TD, I haven't thrown a check down in a store for 20 years now. That's a good one, TD. Miss Pittsburgh, wave out towel. Craig Werlow, what's up? The key for the game is our offensive line got to keep Russ upright. Absolutely. That's no doubt a definite key, Craig. 50th anniversary of the first championship for the Steelers and tons of former players on hand. No possible way they should not be amped up for this primetime game with the whole country watching. Yeah, and they typically do good on prime time, so I'm excited for all the people that are going to be in the house. And also, I have to tell you guys something here too, and I don't know if you've heard it. Former 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, will be supposedly in attendance as a guest of one of the suite holders at Acrisure Stadium. And the Steelers and the Secret Service are working on the security issue and trying to keep everybody safe there. But just to know, if you are going to the game, that there will be a Secret Service FBI presence at the game around Acrisure Stadium. There's usually probably an FBI presence, but not a Secret Service presence. So heightened security will be ramped up. So don't be down there doing anything stupid because your ass will get tackled and thrown down and handcuffed. So make sure you're on your P's and Q's down there. And of utmost importance, be safe and make sure you are keeping an eye out of your surroundings. Because, man, we live in a crazy world, my friends. And yeah, just keep your head on a swivel at all times, man. You never know what goes down in these crazy places, but please be safe. Please be safe. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of the chat. I'm going to give you my keys to victory here tonight. Hold on, one more. You're right, Greg Knapp with Garrett on the other side. Oh, he's talking to him. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Rogers is going to go after Beanie Bishop all game. Hopefully he can play a lot better than he has. Yeah, Doug, you took one of mine away, and that's why I went back to the chat because I thought I seen you put that. Cool, go Trump. That's from Tom Ford. Guys, my keys to victory, and Doug just gave one, so we'll start on the defense. That's a very good thought there, Doug. And I'm sure a lot of other people are thinking this same thing too. But Beanie Bishop's got to be better. Just like AQ, Doug said in the chat there. Aaron Rodgers is going to pick on him, guys. And you are going to see him get some real significant work tomorrow night. And how do the Steelers overcome that? I think maybe help it with Minka sometimes. I think with maybe, some possible rolling coverages with the linebackers, perhaps maybe helping out sometimes. I just think you have to roll somebody else over to Beanie Bishop to help him out occasionally because I really do think he's going to get ate up. And I know he's a guy that's playing that slot cornerback role. And, they're typically one-on-one with their slot guy and typically just one-on-one with their matchup. But I'm not sure Beanie Bishop's up to that task this week because I think Aaron Rodgers is a wily veteran that's really good arm and has some weapons, man. Alan Lazard, Wilson the tight end, now Devontae Adams, Mike Williams. There is a multitude of weapons over there, and definitely it's going to be a very scary night for Beanie Bishop, and I think that's where the Steelers' real weakness is going to be tomorrow night defensively, and that is going to have to come down now for some help from guys like Minka from the safety area, from the linebacker play is going to have to be really good. I think the linebacker play and the safety play is going to have to be phenomenal tomorrow night. for your Steelers. The corner play, the whole secondary. The secondary is a real key to victory. Also, getting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Again, he's older. He's not as mobile as he once was. And getting pressure from that defensive front has to be of utmost importance tomorrow, too. Really putting Aaron Rodgers in an uncomfortable situation, not allowing him to get in rhythm is the absolute key. And once he does, it's going to be a long night, especially for guys like Beanie Bishop. So keys on defense, Beanie Bishop's got to come and play the best game he's played all season. TJ Watt and company on the edges and that defensive front have to apply pressure and make Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable and get him out of rhythm. And the secondary and the linebackers, they got to be on their P's and Q's, man, tomorrow, and they have to be really, really good in pass coverage. They have to play their best game pass coverage-wise that they have all season, and I really, truly think that Terrell Austin, the defensive coordinator, and his ability to scheme this week is of utmost importance. He has to be able to outsmart a guy like Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett. He has to be able to have a good scheme in place, and that might be a big challenge. Might be a big challenge. So we'll see exactly how that all unfolds. But those are my keys defensively. Offensively, my keys for victory tomorrow are Russell Wilson being upright. Of course, no doubt about it. That offensive line has to play better. But I really want to see Russell Wilson have and create good balance for the Steelers offense and really get them on schedule and really loosen up the box for the Steelers and allow Najee Harris, allow Jaylen Warren to really be effective in the run game. And if you're Russell Wilson tomorrow night, you have to take some chances. You have to open this offense up a little bit. Again, I think it's going to be a game in which you have to score some damn points, man. You can't come out with an ultra-conservative game plan and win in Sunday night primetime against this Jets team. This Jets defense is going to come after Russell Wilson, and the offensive line is going to have a real chore in front of them handling that defensive front of the Jets. And also that secondary are a bunch of they're not slouches either. And this wide receiver room is going to have to play above their head, man. And Brandon Johnson getting called up. He is going to be the X factor, in my opinion, in that wide receiver room this week. I really think that. I think that perhaps he could come up with a big play, nobody really paying much attention to him, and he goes under the radar, maybe a little double move or something, and Russell Wilson could hit him for a potential big play. Sometimes you just got to think outside of the box with some players that they might not be paying great attention to. So that is a key for me. Russell Wilson pushing the ball down the field a little bit, not being predictable, making sure you loosen up the box again with some short to intermediate throws too, and just get comfortable if you're Russell Wilson. Get comfortable. That has to be of utmost importance in his first game action of the regular season. Also, these tight ends got to come to play, man. Blocking and in the pass game. They have to be super valuable this week. And I think Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin, when you're formulating this game plan this week, you should have really been thoughtful to include those tight ends in a major way. Because I think Pat Freiermuth could have a big day. Again, working from the inside out, working with those drag routes, potentially some flag patterns for Pat Freiermuth, to get behind that Jets linebacking core, to create those maybe possible big plays with the tight ends. And hopefully we'll see that and utilize guys like a Darnell Washington down inside the red zone. And I really, truly like Darnell from the 30 in, man. I think he could be super valuable there. 50-50 balls. George Pickens potentially also with that. And if you're Russell Wilson too, trust the guys. Trust the pass catchers. Play with some anticipation. Give those guys the chance. They don't have to be college open no more. Let's just get it out there and allow these guys to work and again, be a good quarterback in terms of anticipation and really understanding this offense of Arthur Smith and maybe bringing it up to that next level. So we'll see. But those are my keys. Also, Chris Boswell. always important. Chris Boswell, again, chasing that regular season record set in 2011 by David Akers. I believe 44 field goals made in the regular season, and we'll see if that happens for Chris Boswell. We hope it doesn't, because that means the Steelers aren't doing very good offensively. So we'll see. Never know. Maybe it does mean they're doing good offensively. They're just taking so many trips into the red zone, scoring so many points that, just sometimes Boz got to kick it, man, because they can't score tutties on every one of them. All right, we've been going for over an hour, so thank you guys for all the likes. Thank you for all the views. It's been nice tonight. The chat's been lively. Sorry if I didn't get to your chat stuff. We will be live tomorrow about 6:30 with our live Steelers pregame show here on Mike Drop Sports. I'll be your host as always, and again, we'll talk about a pregame show once we see what time the game ends tomorrow night. I typically don't like doing them, going toward 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, man, appreciate it. And until then, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace, guys. Thank you. And see you on the next one.